Hey folks, hey, I'd like to talk about Bert Kinister's Star System and try to apply it to some other kind of a 9-ball scenario or a straight pool, whatever kind of pattern play you have, and try to use it to our advantage to work on different scenarios, okay? So first of all, what is the Star System? Okay, Star System, and this is something I used to use when I was a kid, is just starting out with a 3-ball run and trying to use these 3 balls to be able to choose runouts for everything. So we're going to exhaust this pattern before we run to the next. Okay, so simply stating, I'm going to use the cue ball, and he always says a 22.5-degree angle. It doesn't matter. It's not a 22.5-degree angle. We know that it's a different angle wherever we have it, but the application is still the same. It's still a great kind of a resource. So what are we going to do? The cue ball is going to hit the 1 ball in, and so we're going to make the 1 ball and get a good angle on the 3 ball. Now, this angle on the 2 ball to get on the 3 ball, I'm going to make sure I said that correctly. So whether we have a short angle, this becomes more difficult. We have to be able to learn this kind of a shot, which is coming out to the rail and drawing it back. If we have a better angle, being able to get the cue ball to go 1 rail off of the short rail to the long rail to hit the 3 ball in. That's a great opportunity. If you get too steep of an angle, maybe you're going to have to use some left spin, hit the 2-ball first. That's key. Hit the 2-ball first, get the left spin to spin it off to the rail, and you're trying to hit it before the side pocket. Or if you get even a worse angle yet, coming to the short rail on the other side of the table and trying to come into the line of the 3-ball. Regardless, all his system is trying to get the cue ball to go into the line or away from the line. I'm saying if the line's here, if you had the line of the shot is in this direction and you had your cue ball come to this spot and go away from, you're still in that line, okay? You can go to the line or away from that line. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken this 3-ball pattern. Now what I want to do is get a nice angle on the 3-ball so that later on I can continue my run. If you'd like to see more about it, I'm sure there's tons of videos explaining this kind of a system. But, okay, so let's imagine you shot these 3 balls in. You got a nice angle on the 3-ball. You put the 1 ball and the 2-ball back up, and you get the cue ball to go back over and shoot the 1 ball, and you try to make a run. Neil Svine's got some videos out on this as well. So after I've shot these 3 balls in, and I made a good run with it, then I start to randomize it. Maybe you're switching the 2-ball and the 3-ball. So you go 1 to the 2 and then back down for the 3. You have the cue ball go back up. Maybe you have decided that you're going to switch the 3-ball and the 1-ball, which really isn't doing much, right? It's just doing the mirror, okay? So at the very end, you start to randomize it. You got the cue ball to go to the 3-ball, 2 balls are down. You take the 2 balls, maybe you grab the other balls too so you can have the lowest number ball and create a little bit more randomization. Okay, so I've got the 2 balls. I put one of the balls down, and now I've got it at random, these 2 balls, 50-50 shot. I shoot the next 2 balls. I shot the 3-ball. I come back for the 1 ball, shoot it in. Now I'm on the 2 ball. These 2 balls are now randomized. Okay, bam. I shoot the 2 ball. Now I have to go for position for the 1 ball. I shoot the 2 ball in, I shoot the 1 ball, I randomize this pattern once again. Okay, so all I'm trying to do is make sure that I get the maximum amount of patterns possible just out of these 3 balls. So I've taught myself how to get across the table. I've taught myself how to get down. Maybe I've got into trouble going to the short rail on the other end of the table and coming back and essentially going into the line of the shot or away from the line into that shot every single time so I can get a higher run. A good goal will be maybe 5 in a row, and then you go to the next pattern. There's a whole bunch on this. I think it's called the nine-pointed star system, where you have these 3 balls at the other end, and 3 balls in the center of the table. The spot, the center spot, and the head spot. So you've got 9 balls out on the table, and you're randomizing those balls every single time. So in this segment, you're not going to be able to see my face as well, but we're going to use the star system that we did with the 3 balls in a random fashion. Okay, so I'm taking my cue away, show you a little bit more what I do for patterns. And I'm just taking these 4 balls and I throw them out. Well, I like them to hit together. Okay, so now I've distributed the balls somewhere, hopefully at random, and I've got a pattern. Okay, so I shoot this pattern until I've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and I want some consistency with it. So here's the pattern that I came up with the other day. It seemed to be a little bit of a problem. It was a good challenge. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to make sure that I'm getting good position on this 2 ball. Now I've got 2 different routes that I'd like to, well, I got 3 different routes. I could put the cue ball down here below the 1 ball and try to get a good line to come into the rail where my chalk is. And I could get a good cue ball coming into the line of the 3 ball. I'm saying, here's the line that is acceptable. Here is better, but I can't get my cue ball to go down to this position. The 3 ball's in the way. And if I clip the 3 ball just right, I could go into the side pocket. I also could miss-hit it and come into the side pocket anyway. So that's probably not a good solution to come into the line in this good line here. So acceptable is probably in this position here. Okay. So I could put my cue ball again on where my cue tip is and get the cue ball to come off of the 1 ball into the line here, put a little bit of right spin if I need, and get the cue ball in this line. I could also, I don't really like that solution myself, I could put the cue ball where it is right now and shoot the same shot but withdraw. Okay, so I've got the cue ball in a good position to go on that same shot. And I've got yet another position that seemed to be interesting. Okay, so I put the cue ball here. I get the cue ball to go off of the long rail and try to get it off of the long rail in this position somewhere over here and get the cue ball off of the rail here where the chalk is. See if we can make that happen. Okay, so problems with each one of these shots, as you just saw, putting it on the rail is death. It's just not good. I was intending on hitting a little higher, a little harder, getting the cue ball to come off the rail and be into the shot line somewhere about this 2-1 intersection. Okay, that's what I'd like it to happen. I could have hit it too soft. That's acceptable. Anywhere there is acceptable. So I came into the line here, cue ball on this line, too soft, okay, too soft, okay, too soft, it's still okay, too hard, right there, pretty good. If I get to where I have to cut out, I'm talking about the aiming line is outside of a half a ball, that becomes quite difficult. So I would rather stay inside that 3/4 of a ball, a heavy hit, to where I can get the cue ball control nice. I can hit it nice and easy and still get the cue ball to go in this position. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get the cue ball to go into the line of the 3 ball. I'm talking about a straight line for the 3 ball into the corner pocket over here. Acceptable is a little bit on the other side. Not acceptable is here, where I'm almost parallel to the long rail, and I have to get the cue ball to go around the table to go to the 4 ball. Not acceptable. So what are my percentages? Well, for me, the other day, it was shooting the cue ball off of the long rail, off of the long rail here, and into the line of the 2 ball. Why? Because when I shot it here and got it to go, I ended up on the wrong side of the 3 ball too many times. So it should be no left spin at all. Just float up for the 3 ball. Now, as you've noticed, if I don't hit it far enough, it stopped here. The line is in this position. I'm on the wrong side of the 3 ball. Can I still do it? Yeah, absolutely. But the speed has to be pretty good. So I didn't like that option as much, coming off the rail here. Now, what could I do to fix that? Well, I'm going to shoot it with right English. I'm going to come off the long rail and try to come into the line. That fixed the problem. If I come too far, though, now the cue ball is going to go, and it's going to get too much energy and go on the wrong side of the 4 ball, make the 4 ball hard. Okay, but I thought that fixed the problem. So what do I need to do? It's not necessarily the 1 ball going to the 2 ball position. I don't think the point's that. The point isn't going from the 1 ball, getting shape on the 2 ball as much. It's, I've got a problem over here. I'm trying to get shape somewhere over in here on this side of the table on the 2 ball, and I need to get on the right side of the 3 ball, good position on the 3 ball to get back down for the 4 ball. So what I had to do was randomize, where am I putting my cue ball? Well, I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to master the 2 ball to the 3 ball. Well, I'm going to put it here. Master the 2 ball to the 3 ball. I'm going to put it here. So I'm putting it all in these random areas, making it difficult for myself. Well, what do I got to do to make good shape? So now, where do I not want to be? I still got shape. I don't like it. What's the best route from the 1 ball to get my cue ball to where I like it? Okay, got good positional zone. Okay, so we've exhausted this pattern. We've mastered it, and it took us a little while. Great. On to the next pattern. Okay, so as we just said moments ago, we exhausted this pattern. Well, no, we haven't. We've marked these balls, and I marked the balls with colored pencil. I've got a white colored pencil over here, and I marked this ball, the 4 ball, and I marked the 2 ball, and so on and so forth. So I've got 4 marks on my table where I want to make sure that I've got these balls, and I'm going to randomize them. 2 ball, 4 ball, 3 ball, 1 ball. Okay, what do we got to do? So this particular pattern isn't as difficult as the one coming up. There are 2 more patterns out here that are pretty difficult, but this isn't the worst. Okay, so I get the 1 ball. I could choose to go back down and try to get the cue ball in this position and get the cue ball to come back out. I could draw it too much. I kind of like that. Getting it to come to the long rail over here. So I got the cue ball to come out to this position, get the cue ball. I could get the cue ball to this position, and so I could get into the line, get the 2 ball. Cue ball comes off the 2 ball. I got good speed control, Now I got into the shot line of the 3 ball. I'm approaching it in this position. And I've got back down table for the 4 ball. You can maximize whatever you're going to do with this particular run out. So you mark them and you shoot the worst possible shot. The worst shot is coming from the 2 ball to the 3 ball, getting good shape to get on the 4 ball. So that's the pattern. You've got the 1 ball to get position on it. Randomize it again. Okay, how does this one look? Shoot the 1 ball, shoot the 2 ball, shoot the 3 ball, 4 ball. Okay, so this represents a pattern that if I shot it and I randomize the balls, I put them out, I mark them. If I shoot this 2 times in a row, I think that this is a good enough pattern that I don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. Maybe you should, if you may decide, hey, I want to do it 5 times in a row. Wonderful. Okay, whatever criteria you have for your game and your practice, use it. Okay, so I've taken this pattern. I think that I've mastered it. Find another pattern. 2 ball, 4 ball, 1 ball. Okay, now this one's particularly difficult. You have to go from the 1 ball, up table for the 2 ball, down table for the 3 ball, slightly up table for the 4 ball. So it's back and forth on the table. And this presents a challenge. How do you get from the 1 ball to the 2 ball so you can get back down table for the 3 ball? Now, if you notice, if you got the cue ball here, wonderful. I think this is good because now I can get the cue ball to come off the 2 ball. We recognize that cue ball path. If it came down too far, we recognize that 2 ball path. The cue ball can go off the 2 ball, come here to the rail, comes down table, and now I can get to the 3 ball. That's a recognizable pattern. The 2 ball to the 3 ball to the 4 ball is easy. The problem that we haven't addressed is the 1 ball to the 2 ball. Cue ball here. Shoot. Well, I shot it a little bit soft. I still made the 1 ball, which is not that easy of a shot, by the way. I shot the 1 ball in, and I got short. Still short. Still short. Pretty good. So my positional zone is a diamond and a half. I hope I didn't get cue ball position here. It's pretty straight. Well, that presents a heck of a difficulty. So I don't particularly like shooting into the cue ball, into the 1 ball from this position. Well, what's another option? I think there's 2 options. Okay? So I hope I don't have to do this many times, but it's not that easy of a shot. So the cue ball, I put my cue ball into several positions to try to get the 1 ball to the 2 ball mastered. And that's the whole point of this 4 ball pattern that we've done in randomizing it is, okay, the cue ball's here. What do we do if the cue ball's here? What do we do if the cue ball's here? Okay, so let's go over if we had a straight draw shot. Okay, so we put the cue ball where we think this could be a solution. We're a straight draw, or we talked about high ball a minute ago, but it'll make sense on the next pattern the most. So I'm going to shoot the cue ball with draw. Okay, so I had a really good cue ball right there. I hit the 1 ball in, no problems, and I got the cue ball to draw back all the way to the short rail. Well, what could have happened? I could have made the cue ball in the corner pocket. Did I get a great angle on the 2 ball? The answer is no. I'm still going to have to spin it short rail, long rail, back down table for the 3-ball. So it wasn't as controllable as I'd like. Now, I put the cue ball not quite straight in, okay, and I made sure that I had a little bit of an angle to get the cue ball away from the corner pocket. Let's move it just a half a ball's width. I'm putting a little bit of left spin on it as well. Acceptable, except I still don't have an angle. Man, it's straight in. So that's two things that were a problem. Is it speed control? Is that my problem? Well, let's move it a half a ball out. Okay, I'm not that far out at all yet. Oh, I do not like that. I got shape. Wow, that's not controllable. Okay, so I shot this 1-ball going to the 2-ball is extremely cue ball dependent. I don't really like that option. I don't like the option of having a cue ball here. I don't like the option of having it very many places to go on this side of the 4-ball. I definitely don't want to go on this side of the 4-ball if I'm drawing the cue ball. Maybe you could get it to go from here and go to the long rail and back down table for the short rail. Okay, let's try another shot. Okay, so I moved the camera because I need you to be able to see it. I'm putting the cue ball in the center of the table. What do I need to do to get back on the 2-ball? And I'd like it to where if I'm in this position. So I'm not quite in the center of the table. The center of my table is marked. I've got some lines on my table so I can see it. And I particularly like going from the long rail to the long rail and coming back down table for this 2-ball. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get it done. Okay, I like that. The only thing I don't like is I don't have the best angle. So that one, I liked it. If I had to do it, this is an okay shot. I just know that it's speed dependent. Okay, so was there another route? So if I got a little bit too much of an angle instead of this flat of an angle, what could I do? Well, if I'm looking at it, and I hope you're seeing it too, is from here, man, I really like that. The cue ball position here. I like to be able to take the cue ball, hit the 1-ball, go long rail, go tight into the corner pocket, short rail, long rail, come back underneath the 4-ball, and I'm into the line of the 2-ball. I really like that. Even with the 3-ball, I think this is good. I don't have to hit it super hard. I just have to hit it and make sure I don't scratch in the corner pocket. I hit it a little short. I could hit it a little bit better, but you can see that if I hit the cue ball off of this long rail, I've still got shape, and I've got an angle to where I can do something. I feel as though if I shot the 1-ball and get the cue ball to bounce off here and come back, it's too speed dependent versus if I just hit the ball a little bit better off the 1-ball here. I think it's a pretty good route. it's even better. Let's imagine that pattern's changed. Oh, let's change it here. Okay, so I shot the one ball in. I got the cue ball to this position. Now I don't even have to think about the interfering ball, which it didn't interfere with anything anyway. But if I felt it would, I still can go the same route, hit it just a little bit harder than what I did just a minute ago, and come into the line of the three. Now, where the three ball is, if you had the cue ball in any of these other positions, then you could still, hey, I'm straight in, fine, I've got an easy four ball. Hey, I got my cue ball, I drew it all the way back here, fine. So what was the hardest one? The hardest position for these four balls seemed to be here. Okay, so what did I learn from shooting these four balls? I learned a whole lot. Okay, I learned the best positional routes, not having to hit the ball too hard. I like the cue ball going here in that line because I didn't have to hit it near as good as the cue ball in this position. I have to hit that cue ball pretty good to get that to happen. I have to hit it really freaking good from this position, and I have to hit it extremely good from this position, and I have to hit it again pretty good from this position. I have to hit it pretty good. I have to hit it really good. So if I'm just looking at my chances of making the cue ball go from this one ball back down to the two ball, I like this the best. Okay? And if I shifted that pattern around a little bit, you could see where putting the one ball here could definitely be a problem, because now we've already practiced the two ball to the three ball. That's not the problem anymore. It's getting the cue ball to hit the one ball in and land somewhere around the center of the table. This is the best. This is acceptable. This is still doable. I don't like it. Okay, and so you could say to yourself, well, let's get the cue ball to go here, hit the one ball in, come off the rail, and oh man, that's a pretty good angle. That's pretty good angle. So we're going away from the line. This is to the line of the two ball. This is away from the line of the two ball. I kind of like that kind of a scenario to get the cue ball back down table for the three ball. So we learned a whole lot of just simply going back to the oldies and shooting this three ball pattern with the star system. Okay, so I know this is quite a long video of explaining it, and there are several people out there right now doing stuff that's similar. I just thought it was worth talking about what's the next step. For me, what I just did the other day in my practice, and maybe it'll help you too. I've got I do a little bit of coaching. I'm talking about pool coaching. I'm also an Unbeatable Mind certified coach. I do a whole lot with leadership, and I'm a school teacher as well. So I could resonate with you a little bit. If I could, I don't take very many students because I'm so busy. But if you'd like to explore it, you can contact me. It's on this YouTube. It's in the description. You can contact me. And of course, you can get anybody. You know, there's tons of coaches out there. But it has to resonate with you. My teaching style has to resonate with somebody before I say, yeah, you should take some lessons with me. It has to be the right fit. Okay. And so this is just my own exploration of how to get better at patterns. And hope you have a great New Year's Eve. Stay safe, and I'll see you in 26.